Okay, today's exercise is to try and get this old lawnmower going. It's just the right width that I need to get between the trees that are on the perimeter of the fence. I can't get my ride-on mower in there, it's just a little bit too wide. I don't really want to use my good lawnmower, so I've had this for I don't know, probably 15 years. It was sort of retired and put away in a shed more than 10 years ago, and I want to see if I can get it going just so I can use it to cut the grass rather than having to whippersnip, so it's going to save a bit of time if I can get it going. Wasn't too sure what condition the carburetor was in because it's been sitting for over 10 years. I thought that the tank had rust holes in it, but I think now I've probably replaced it some other time. So what I did, you can get all these parts online. You can get the carburetors by themselves, you can get the fuel tanks by themselves. I wasn't too sure what I needed, so what I went and got was a replacement fuel tank that comes with the carburetor in one package. So I'll just take that out. So there we have there. So it's not an original Rover item, it's just a Chinese knockoff. A metal tank, but the carburetor is all new. The priming plug is new. All the diaphragms and everything inside it are new. So it's probably a bit of an extreme to replace, where I could have probably just pulled the carby apart and replaced a few things, but I think this was about 30 bucks, $32 or something online. You could have bought just the carby part for about $15 online. So today's exercise is to get rid of the old tank and put this new one on. I guess before commencing any work on this thing, we need to make sure that it's not seized. You know, it has been sitting for over 10 years. It has been in a reasonably dry place. It was going when it was put away, so I'm just going to try the starter core just to see if it actually rotates the engine to make sure that it's not locked up, because if it is seized then it's probably not worth going any further. So let's give it a try. Oh yeah. Okay, that seems to sort of turn over, so let's get to work and get the carburetor off. The first thing I'm going to do is take the air filter out, and this is what I had to do every time I had to try and start it, was to take this off and just pour petrol down the carburetor and then sort of put the top back on before I started mowing. So it was a bit of a pain, but it still sort of worked. So this big long bolt just goes right down through the middle of the air cleaner down into the throat of the carburetor. So that's the air filter, which just pops off. That's the carburetor there. Just put this over there. It's going to need cleaning at some stage, but I can come back to that. If it looks like it's going to start, then I will put a new spark plug in it, put new fuel and oil in it, but I guess this is the first stage of seeing whether it's going to work. So there's a couple of little springs here that are the idle spring and the throttle spring, so they will have to come off and go on to the new carburetor. I might just have to get my little pliers to get those out. Okay, so the good thing is with these tanks is there's really only 2 bolts to get the whole assembly off. So there's one under there and there's a short one on the front, so both of those have to come out. So that's okay. Long bolt, long bolt, long bolt, long bolt. And that's out. shorter one on the front, it's a different size socket. So we've got the old tank and the old carburetor off, so that's that one there and the new one there. Quick check to see if they're the same, size wise they look the same. I mean, everything is pretty well close. It's a pretty good copy. All the things in there are the same. Thing for the carburetor on the top is the same as that one. So all that looks good, so it's just a matter of bolting the new one in place. One thing I've just noticed looking at this new tank is where the bolt for the air cleaner goes into, it normally goes right down the guts of the throat of the carby, but in this new one there's actually a Phillips head screw that's sitting right in the middle, so maybe that's just there when they ship it, but it'll have to come out, otherwise the air filter won't screw in, so let me take that out first. Right, well I just had to take the carburetor off to get the screw out of the middle there. Didn't want to come out that easy, so I took the carburetor part off. So this is what you can actually buy. You know, you can buy the rubber diaphragms for the carburetor. So you can see on this one, this is the diaphragm here that pumps up and down, and it's got quite a dished area to it, whereas the new one over here you can see is still quite flat. So these bits you can actually buy if you need to. You can just buy a new rubber diaphragm and put them in. This old one's actually missing gaskets. It hasn't got gaskets on the top, but it doesn't matter, we're not going to reuse that one. So we'll put the carburetor back on the new tank and get it on. Now the good thing about buying parts for these old mowers is there's lots of stuff you can get for them, so there's no reason why you really need to throw them out. I guess only if the metal casings are completely rusted and you have to throw them away, but other than parts, you know, you can buy pistons and heads, valves, just about anything you want you can get online. Right, I'm just going to try this bolt here, make sure it actually fits down and holds the air cleaner on. So that goes down to another thread in there, which is good. Yep, that's going to work, so that's great. Okay, long bolt, long hole. Yep. Right, just get that off. It doesn't look like there's anything on it at all. Thread in to check. So with this one you have to screw it in to get the right level. So we'll put it in, screw it all the way in till it stops, screw it all the way out. Nothing. it just on the bottom. Oh. If it starts and goes, I'll warm it up and empty this oil out and put some fresh stuff in. That'll do. Right on the line. Perfect. Looks pretty disgusting and black, doesn't it? Let's give it a bit of a wash in some petrol here. Again, if it starts, I will treat it to a new spark plug. I'll just clean that up a little bit. Clean around the outside there a bit. Looks all right. Cap's got a bit of corrosion on it. Let me just give that a bit of a... Okay. Okay, so I guess the next step is to put it on the ground and see if it starts. So just to recap, we've put a new tank on, new carburetor assembly. The only real problem was that this hole in the front didn't really line up with the bracket. I had to drill that hole out a little bit wider to make it fit, but it's on there. So now our primer bulb works nice. I'm going to give that a couple of squirts. You can hear it doing something. Maybe that's enough. Right, let's get it on the ground and see if it starts. Beauty.